Have you ever found yourself snapping at someone for no real reason? Or maybe some days, a quiet sadness sneaks up on you. Not quite depression, but not your usual self either. You might chalk it up to aging or think, I'm just tired. But what if it's more than that? What if these feelings are quietly telling you something important about your mind, your body, or even your environment? It's more common than most people realize. After 60, life changes in so many ways, some beautiful, others more challenging. Retirement, health shifts, losing friends or a spouse, or even just waking up with less energy, it all starts to add up. And sometimes sadness or irritability slips in silently, disguised as forgetfulness, lack of motivation, or even just the feeling of being off. You're not alone. And more importantly, you're not powerless. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 often overlooked reasons why you might be feeling this way. And better yet, we'll talk about what you can start doing today. Simple, doable things to bring more lightness, calm, and joy back into your days. Let's start with one of the most common and sneaky culprits: poor sleep. You might be surprised how much your mood is tied to the quality of your sleep. And I'm not just talking about getting enough hours. I mean deep, restorative sleep that helps your brain reset and your body repair. Many seniors start waking up more often at night, whether it's to use the bathroom because of joint pain or simply because their sleep rhythms have changed. But poor sleep builds up like a fog. After a few nights of tossing and turning, your brain starts to feel sluggish, your patience gets thinner, and small things feel overwhelming. If that sounds familiar, one of the best places to start is with your nighttime routine. Try winding down at least an hour before bed. Turn off the TV, dim the lights, sip something calming like chamomile tea, and avoid looking at your phone or tablet. It's not just about getting to sleep faster. It's about helping your mind slowly drift into a restful state. Your body is trying to heal and recharge while you sleep. Give it the peace it needs to do its job well. Another reason that often slips under the radar is loneliness. Even people who live with family or have friends around can still feel lonely inside. It's not about how many people are near you. It's about whether you feel seen, heard, and valued. After retirement, when the busy structure of work life fades away, many people start to feel invisible. The phone rings less, the house is quieter, and the days feel longer. And when that silence drags on for weeks or months, your emotional world can start to feel a bit hollow. You might notice yourself becoming more irritable, more sensitive to little things, or just feeling empty for no obvious reason. That's the heart calling out for connection. But connection doesn't always mean big social events or long phone calls. Sometimes it starts with something as simple as greeting a neighbor, joining a walking group, or even volunteering for a couple of hours a week. Purpose and connection are food for the soul. And when you feed that part of yourself, even just a little, the sadness often begins to fade. You start to feel like you matter again. Now, another hidden reason you might feel sad or short-tempered after 60 is one we don't talk about enough, and that's unresolved grief. As we get older, we carry more emotional weight. The loss of a partner, a sibling, a lifelong friend, even pets, those wounds often don't heal completely. And sometimes we push them down, thinking we've moved on or that we need to be strong. But grief has a way of lingering quietly. It doesn't always look like tears or sadness. Sometimes it shows up as irritation, restlessness, or a deep fatigue that won't go away. You might think you're just in a bad mood, when really, it's your heart still aching. If that strikes a chord with you, I want you to know this: there's no time limit on healing. It's okay to still miss someone. It's okay to feel that ache, even years later. Sometimes just talking about them, sharing a memory, lighting a candle, or writing down how you feel can bring a deep sense of release. Don't be afraid to let yourself feel what's there. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. And if the grief feels heavy or persistent, talking to someone can make all the difference. A counselor, a grief group, or even a trusted friend can be a safe space to unburden your heart. You don't have to carry it alone. So far, we've touched on sleep, loneliness, and grief. 3 quiet forces that can shift your mood without you even realizing it. But awareness is power. The moment you start to recognize where those feelings are coming from, you start to gain control over them. Sometimes we think we've got everything under control. We're eating okay, we're resting, and we keep ourselves busy. But even with all that, something still feels off. That brings us to another big factor that often slips by unnoticed: nutritional imbalances. Now, I know that might sound a little surprising, but what you eat, and more importantly, what you're not eating, can have a direct impact on your mood and emotional well-being. As we age, our bodies don't absorb nutrients the same way they used to. That means even if you're eating relatively healthy, you could still be lacking key vitamins and minerals that help regulate your mood, memory, and energy levels. For example, low levels of vitamin D, B12, magnesium, and omega-3s have all been linked to symptoms of depression, anxiety, and irritability, especially in people over 60. And let's face it, most of us aren't getting enough of these through food alone anymore. We may not spend as much time outdoors to soak up natural vitamin D, and our gut may not process B12 as efficiently as it once did. The good news is, you can take charge here. Start with a conversation with your doctor or nutritionist. Ask them to run a basic blood test to check your nutrient levels. It's quick, it's simple, and it could change the way you feel more than you'd expect. And once you know what you're low on, adding the right supplements or foods like leafy greens, fatty fish, nuts, and a little more sunlight can begin to lift that emotional fog. Even something as basic as staying well hydrated can make a big difference. It might sound too simple to matter, but chronic dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, and mood swings. Keep a water bottle nearby and sip throughout the day, even if you're not thirsty. Your brain and your mood will thank you. Now, another reason that many people don't recognize right away is lack of structure in their daily life. After decades of routines, waking up early, going to work, taking care of kids, or a household, retirement can suddenly feel like free fall. There's no alarm clock, no schedule, no real must-do each day. That sounds great at first, right? But after a while, that freedom can feel a little empty. Our brains actually crave structure. It gives us purpose. It grounds us. And without it, days can start to blur together. That's when the sadness can creep in, or we become irritable over little things, because part of us feels lost or restless without a clear why to our day. You don't need to fill every hour with activity, but creating even a light daily routine, waking up at the same time, having a morning walk or reading ritual, planning meals, scheduling time to call a friend or take a class, can restore that sense of rhythm and purpose. Something as small as writing down 3 things you plan to do each day can bring back a sense of control and meaning. And here's something powerful to keep in mind. Routine doesn't have to be rigid. It just needs to feel good. So build your day around things that bring you comfort and joy. Maybe it's gardening in the morning, a puzzle after lunch, or sitting in your favorite chair with a book at sunset. Your day doesn't have to be busy to be fulfilling. It just has to feel like it matters. Next, let's talk about something that affects more people than you might think, and that's chronic physical pain. Ongoing discomfort, even mild, can wear down your mood without you realizing it. When you live with pain day in and day out, stiff joints, aching muscles, back pain, it slowly drains your energy, your patience, and your joy. And eventually, it makes everything feel harder than it should. The tricky part is many older adults get used to this kind of pain. They think, well, that's just part of getting older. But it doesn't have to be. There are so many tools today, from gentle movement like Tai Chi and water aerobics, to physical therapy to anti-inflammatory diets, that can make a huge difference. If your pain is making you more irritable, or if you find yourself withdrawing from activities you used to enjoy, take that as a signal. Don't wait for the pain to become unbearable. Talk to your doctor, try something new, and explore treatments that go beyond just masking symptoms with pills. You deserve to feel comfortable in your body, not just survive, but thrive. One small shift that helps many people is simply moving more. Not strenuous exercise, just gentle, regular movement. A walk around the block, some light stretches in the morning, even dancing in your living room to a favorite song. Movement increases blood flow, reduces stiffness, and releases endorphins. those natural mood boosters that help ease both sadness and irritability. Remember, motion is emotion. When your body moves, your mood often moves with it toward the better. As we've explored, so many of these emotional shifts after 60 aren't just in your head. They're in your body, your habits, your environment. And the more we bring them to light, the more empowered you become to do something about it. Let's talk about something many people hesitate to bring up, even to their closest friends or family. The feeling of being forgotten or unneeded. This one can sneak up on you. Maybe your kids are grown and busy with their own lives. Maybe you've retired from a job where you felt valued every day. Or maybe you've simply noticed that your phone doesn't ring as often, or fewer people seem to ask for your advice, your help, your time. It's an incredibly common experience after 60, to feel like you're fading into the background. And that feeling can lead to sadness, irritability, or even quiet resentment. Because the truth is, we all want to feel useful. We want to feel like we matter, that our presence, our voice, and our life still make a difference. But here's the empowering part. Just because the world gets a little quieter doesn't mean you've stopped being valuable. It just means you may need to take the first step now to redefine what being needed looks like in this stage of life. It could be volunteering somewhere that lights you up, maybe at a school, a library, or a local animal shelter. It could be sharing your wisdom online, starting a blog, or helping a neighbor with something they can't do themselves. It could even be something as simple and meaningful as calling someone who's lonely, because believe me, you're not the only one feeling this way. The moment you start using your gifts again, whether it's kindness, experience, patience, or just a listening ear, you'll notice your mood shifting. Purpose doesn't have to be big or flashy. It just has to feel real. And finally, there's one more reason you might be feeling more irritable or sad after 60, and it's a big one. It's unprocessed grief. Over the years, we experience loss. Loved ones pass away. Friends move. Our health changes. We let go of roles we once had, identities we once wore proudly, like being a full-time parent, a worker, a caregiver, a partner. And sometimes we push those feelings down. We try to stay strong. We tell ourselves not to dwell on the past. But the truth is, grief doesn't go away just because we ignore it. It stays with us quietly, heavily, and often shows up in unexpected ways, like sudden tears, or unexplained anger, or a lingering sadness that doesn't seem to have a clear cause. The healing begins when we allow ourselves to feel, when we give ourselves permission to remember, to cry, to talk about it, even if it's been years. Sometimes, the sadness we feel in the present is our heart's way of asking us to honor something we never fully faced before. Talking with someone, a therapist, a spiritual guide, a trusted friend, can be life-changing. You don't have to carry it alone. You've carried enough already. And remember, grief isn't just about losing people. It could be grief over losing youth, mobility, relationships, or even a version of yourself. All of it is real, and all of it deserves compassion. So, if you've been feeling low lately, or snapping at small things, or waking up with that heavy sense that something isn't quite right, know that you're not alone. So many others your age are feeling the same. And not because there's something wrong with you, but because change is hard. Aging is a journey, and sometimes we're carrying more than we realize. The good news? You can feel better. You can feel lighter, clearer, and more at peace. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about listening to yourself, one feeling at a time, and doing something kind, loving, and healing in response. So, let's take a breath together right now. And remember, sadness and irritability are not signs of weakness. They're signals. They're your mind and body asking for attention, for care, for a shift. Start small. Add a new routine. Talk to someone. Get outside. Try a new food. Pick up that old hobby. Reconnect with someone. Move your body. Sit in silence. Write in a journal. Whatever feels like a loving step, take it. Because you deserve joy. You deserve peace. You deserve to feel good, not just physically, but emotionally. Every day you wake up is a new chance to feel better, love deeper, and live more fully. If anything in this video spoke to you, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to share your thoughts or stories in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found this helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing. This channel is all about helping you live happier, healthier, and more empowered after 60. Thanks for spending this time with me today. And remember, no matter how old you are, there's always room for joy. Here's to living your best life at any age.